This is the second of a three-part series that teaches you how to properly SEO a WordPress website.
This video is brought to you by Appy's Academy.
And a series that shows you how to make a passive income website online that will make you roughly $2,000 per month. So in this specific lesson, I'm going to show you a couple different things. First one, how to pick an appropriate domain name or URL for SEO purposes. I'm going to show you me putting up actual posts, pages, and categories on this website, but I'm going to show you how to structure them specifically so that they all give you an SEO boost. I'm also going to show you how to set up the permalinks so you get an SEO boost through there. And then I'm going to show you the installation and the settings for the all-in-one SEO plugin. And if you do all those things, your website will be very properly optimized. So let's begin. Okay, so for the sake of this lesson, I need to show you how to add, well, you already know how to add a post from the past lesson, but I'm going to show you how to add a post as if you had written one of these articles, right? So for the example, I just went on Google and I typed in random content generator, and it just kind of gives, and it asks you your word count, and it gives you a bunch of gibberish that you can just put in. So this gibberish right here is actually 800 words long. We'll go back here and paste it in. This, for the sake of the video, is our article. You know, split up into paragraphs, kind of like this. You know, over here, this article, if you had written it, would be about concrete anchors. So let's say you did your research, you wrote this article, and the article was how to best use concrete anchors. So say you wrote concrete anchors over here, and you also wrote it over here. And this was not because you're trying to squeeze in as many keywords as you can. These need to sound natural. These need to be just a natural flow of the article. So find a way to include these keywords, but so that it sounds natural, so it doesn't sound forced. Or so if someone's just reading it and doesn't know your intent, they would just say, oh, this is a great article. They wouldn't say, oh, why did you write concrete anchors or anchors made of concrete so many times that it sounds like a weird article. So let's keep going. Redhead concrete anchors. I remember from before there was redhead concrete anchors. That was just one word. Hilty concrete anchors, Hilty anchors for concrete. It makes sense that those would probably be in the same paragraph because that's what we're discussing them. Hilty concrete anchors. And the other one was Hilty anchors for concrete. Hilty anchors for concrete. Concrete post anchors. Oops. Concrete post anchors. And concrete wedge anchors. Concrete wedge anchors, right? And don't forget about these, the related blue keywords that will be other articles on your website. So concrete mixer, concrete tiles. Let's put it over here. Concrete mixer and concrete tiles. All right. So this is basically the article you spent some time writing. You don't have to spend a lot of time on these articles, by the way. They don't have to be masterpieces. They just need to be good, informative articles. So don't spend a ton of time on them. Read about your keyword, read about the related keywords, do a little bit of research, make it informative, make it good, write it down, and then it's ready to post. So that'll be article 1. Now, We already included all these words in the article. What else do we have to do? The title up here is usually, oh, actually, before I post all these, before you post your articles, you should actually go through the settings, and that's what we'll do next, because we want, remember, we want the permalink to be how to best use concrete anchors. It's going to match the title. So one of the reasons we plugged in the All-in-One SEO pack is because what we type in here will be what displays up here, right there, the title of that web page. And that title is what Google will display when it shows your search result. So this title here is going to be the keyword itself. That's what we want to put in there. Concrete anchors. Concrete anchors. That is, the keyword is exactly what you type in here. What the article is about, the more personalized title, is what you write up here. How to best use concrete anchors. Categories. Make sure to make categories for all your articles. So if we go back here, concrete is an obvious category. Cement is an obvious category. And then we could do, you could probably do like mixes as a category, or maybe you could do flooring as a category. You can set it up however you want. It's not that important that your categories are set up in the greatest way. It's just important that you have, 3 or 4. Just make it easy to navigate the site. That's the goal. You want to make it user friendly. So just for the sake of this example, we're going to make one category that's concrete, one category that's cement, and one category that is house projects, because a lot of these, driveway, garage, flooring, sidewalk, these all qualify as house projects, or maybe do it yourself would be a great one. I just call it DIY. So let's go back here, add a new category, and this category is concrete, right there. All right, concrete. I look over it real quick, make sure everything's okay. That's fine. Oh, you want to add an image too, or at least a couple. All right, so how do we add images, and why do we add images? One, we add images because Google reads the information of the image, and if you have an image on your post that matches the keyword you're targeting, Google will like that. Not only that, it'll make your website look nicer. It'll make it a little bit better. There's no reason not to add at least 1 or 2 pictures to every single post you put up. So how do we do this? Well, our most important keywords, and probably what we'll be talking about in the article, were redhead concrete anchors and hilty concrete anchors. So what do? Redhead concrete anchors. Type it in here. itwredhead.com. I never did the research, but I'm guessing it's a company. I guess these are anchors right here. These would be concrete anchors. Because this website has a white background, I would probably choose an image that has a picture of the anchor, the redhead anchors, with a white background. So this will do. So the exact keyword, redhead concrete anchors. So save image as, put it right on the desktop. Redhead concrete anchors. Save it. And one more time, hilty concrete anchors. It's a nice image, but it has this watermark here. You want one that's clean. You probably want one that's a little bit bigger. That was a good one. Save image as hilty concrete anchors. Save it. All right, so now we have those 2 on our desktop. Oh, this one's showing up like this because it doesn't end in JPEG. There we go. Now that they're displaying here, go back over here. Let's put it here. This little image right here That is how you add an image. All right, give it a second while it thinks. Let's close this here. All right, select file, desktop. Redhead concrete anchors, open. Make the alternate text the exact same thing, concrete anchors. You can add a caption if you want. I'll add one just so you'll see what it is. Here is a redhead concrete anchor. You could make the caption more interesting. You would know about the article, so you would have something to say, but I don't know anything about it, so for the example, I just put that very boring caption. Link URL, put none. What that does is if it was still there, when that image showed up on the website and you clicked on it, it would open up to a new page on your website with just the image, and there's no reason to have that. Alignment, you could put it to, yeah, this is just your preference on how it looks. I usually just put none and let it sit in the center. Some people like it to the right, other people to the left. I'll show you what I mean. I'll put it to the right and you'll see that it will go to the right side of the page. The size, sometimes it doesn't allow you to choose because the image can only be shown in that size. But if you had a much larger image, you could choose it to be a thumbnail, medium, or large. But for now, this is the only option we get because it's a small image to begin with. Insert it into post. Sometimes takes a second too. All right, so our image is right here. Well, once we publish it, it'll show up. And let's do it one more time. Same exact process. Of course, when you're putting up the article, you want the image to make sense where it's placed. This is all being done as an example, but you want your image to make sense. If you're talking about the redhead concrete anchor, wait, I've already forgotten what we're talking about. Yep, if you're talking about the redhead concrete anchor up there in the article, that's where you want your photo. You don't want to just place it haphazardly. You want to make your article to make sense. So same thing, the Hilti one. Where is it? Hilti concrete anchors. Hilti concrete anchors. My favorite concrete anchor. Don't need to add a description. Link URL none. Let's put this one in the left so you'll see it in the left. This one's full size, although it would allow for a thumbnail, but let's leave it as full size. Insert into post. All right, so now they're both in the post. Let's publish it. All right, view post. Put a link in a new tab. And here it is. This is your article. The keywords are in here, and you have 2 photos in here. And Google will read these images: Hilti concrete anchors, redhead concrete anchors. It'll read up here at the top, concrete anchors, the Make Money from Home sample website. We can actually change this later, and we are going to change it later. And then right here is the title you gave it. So this is your first post, and this is something you're going to have to do for all 20 or as many keywords as you have, at least 10. The more blue keywords you have for a website, the better. Okay, so I was actually reviewing this video lesson at a later date, and I'm including this much later on, but basically I was just talking about how to include images on your post, and I was teaching you how to get the images from Google Images. But actually I want to revise that because sometimes the images you get from Google Images are subject to, they have like copyright on them, so you're not actually allowed to use them on your website. And even though it's unlikely, that could cause you some legal complications in the future if some other website sees that you're using their image and they don't like it. So to safeguard you from that, I'm actually going to suggest the exact same process that I just showed you how to get the images and then upload them, the way to label them, etc. Except instead of using Google Images, just use Amazon. And I'm going to explain why using Amazon is okay. Basically, the two ways we're going to monetize our websites. I'm going to teach you how to monetize through Google AdSense and through Amazon by being an Amazon associate. And I read the terms of service guidelines in Amazon, and you are allowed to use their images as long as you don't modify them at all, and as long as on your website you are an Amazon associate and you are linking out to Amazon. So instead of getting your images from Google, just get them from Amazon. And because Amazon sells virtually every product in the world, it shouldn't be an issue anyway. So just to continue with the same example, let's see, it was redhead concrete. Oh, whoops. Concrete anchors. And there it is, a redhead concrete anchor. So you could click here, right click here, save image as, put it on the desktop, and basically you understand the process. The exact same process, except this time you are, from a legal standpoint, not breaking any laws, no copyright infringement, because as I will show you later on in the videos, I'll show you how you will become an Amazon associate, and therefore you'll be allowed to use these images. As you can see on this page, the URL is just a numeric, is just a number. It's just 4, p = 4. That's because we haven't gone through and changed the settings that we want for this website yet. So really, the correct order to do this is to go and make all the settings the way you want them and then start posting, which we didn't actually do. So when you go to make your website, follow these steps first. Set up the website with the settings that we want and then put all the posts up so that all these things just fall into place correctly and we don't have to manually change them later. But right now it says p = 4. What we want it to say is how to best use concrete anchors. Concrete anchors is a keyword we're targeting, and it would be it would give us an SEO benefit if we had concrete anchors right in the URL. So let's go back one by one and just kind of go over the settings that we want for this website. Alright, so a great way to do this, and this is what I do with all my websites, is I just go through every single one of these things one by one to make sure I don't miss anything. So let's start that process now. First place I go is always settings. Although, actually there's one more place I want to go before that. I want to go to the settings of the all-in-one SEO. Let's go here. Alright, so all-in-one SEO, you should already be at least a little familiar with this because we did use it once before, but let's do enabled home title. Actually, I'm glad we're here because there's one thing I did want to talk about. For this example, I put make money from home samplewebsite.com, but when you go to make your website, you're gonna have to choose a domain for it. So it's fairly easy to do. You don't have to think about it that much. But basically, here are a few things you'd want to keep in mind. Most of the keywords that we found have either concrete or cement right in the blue keyword. And to really give ourselves some extra benefit, it would really help us to have both the keywords concrete and cement right in the URL. That would be a tremendous benefit. Google can't ignore the fact that your website is about cement and concrete if it's right in the URL. So you don't want to, there's two ways you can look at it. You don't want to pigeonhole yourself into a website that can only do concrete and cement, but you don't want to make a website so broad that it can be just about anything. So you kind of want to find a balance. You would ideally want to get a URL that includes these two keywords, but if this website takes off and Google loves it, you might want to expand into all kinds of things. You might want to expand into a website that includes keywords about do-it-yourself projects around the house, about wood flooring, about other materials that homes are made out of. So you might want to call it. You could either keep it narrow and call it something like the concrete and cement guide.com or the concrete and cement home guide.com, or you could do it, or you could go really broad. It's just your choice, and it's not that important. But if you decide you want to keep it as a more narrow focus site, including concrete and cement in the URL, would be to your benefit. If you found just a ton of keywords, say maybe you found 40, and their only relation is that they're related to home projects, home do-it-yourself projects, then maybe you don't want to limit yourself. Maybe this website could grow into a website that has 100 blue keyword posts, or 200 or 500, just as many as you can find, and there are that many out there. So you just want to ask yourself, how big do you want to make the website? How focused do you want to keep it? What exactly your goals are? But for the sake of this example, because so many keywords have cement and so many have concrete, I would choose to pick a URL that includes both of those words. So for this example, I'm going to pretend that the website URL that I bought was concrete and cement homeguide.com, and that would be the name of the website. So let's say this is the name of the website. When we go back here, concrete and cement home guide, that would be the name, concrete and cement home guide. Home description, you don't need to put anything. Home keywords, you don't need to put anything. Canonical URLs, uncheck this. Rewrite titles, keep it checked. Post title format, so let me show you what this means so you can understand it. Post title and then blog title. There's a little bit of code. We go back here, see the post title, concrete anchors, is what we put in the SEO box, and then the title of the blog is over here, the Make Money From Home sample website. So we can just leave it that way, or we could take this part out if we want to and just leave it as a post title, just leave it as concrete anchors to make it even more focused. Either way is not that important. I usually just let it sit as default. So post title, blog title, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. All of this is fine. That's fine. I would uncheck this. I don't think any keywords for post page. This one doesn't matter. Uncheck the no index ones. Auto-generated description, that's fine. And capitalized category titles, that's fine. So these options are fine. Some of them aren't that important. That's why I was kind of back and forth with them. But for your website, if you use these settings, you will be fine. And update options. Okay, we just did the all-in-one SEO plugin settings. Let's go to the settings tab and let's just go through these one by one. First, starting in general settings. All right, the Make Money From Home sample website. That is actually the title when I installed WordPress to make this site, that's the title I inserted, and that's why it still displays up here, even though because of the SEO plugin, you can see that the title tag right here is concrete and cement home guide. So let's just get them so they match up. Concrete and cement home guide. Tagline, we don't need one. This is fine, this is fine. Here, put in your own email address. Although your email address is not going to be displayed anywhere on the website. You don't have to worry about that. It's just if there's updates to your website that WordPress needs to tell you about, they'll email you. Membership, anyone can register. I usually put no. This, it doesn't matter. It's all personal preference, how you want the date on your post to appear and the time. Or if you want, you can go into the code and get rid of it entirely, which I usually do. But for now, that's fine. Save changes. All right, let's keep going. Writing. Size of post box 20. This is all fine. Default post category. We don't want any of them in uncategorized. So just in case we forget, we can make it concrete. Blog roll's fine. all these defaults are fine. Save changes. Okay. Reading. Front page displays your latest posts. For our purposes, that's important. Blog pages show at most 10 posts. That's fine too. That's fine. Each article in the feed shows full text. That's fine. You'll understand what these mean a little bit later. But basically it means on the home page, there's going to be 10 posts showing, or at the most 10 posts. But it will be 10 posts for us because we're going to make at least 10 posts. And in this case, we're going to put up 16. This is fine too. And you want it to show the full text. Save changes. Give it a second. All right. Discussion. This is mostly, if you go to a post here, how to best use concrete anchors, you'll see that down here people can comment. Other WordPress users can comment. This is really up to you. I usually turn the comments off because a lot of them are spam, a lot of them are people trying to get backlinks to their own sites through comments. So I usually turn them off, but in some cases, real people leave real comments and leave legitimate advice and actually make your website a little bit better. So it's really up to you. But for me, I usually turn them off because I find that there's more spam links than actual informative links. But if you're patient and you're willing to sift through the comments that are spammy, or obviously spammy, sometimes you'll get some good ones and sometimes you'll get some great extra information that's for free right on your post. But I'm going to do it the way I usually do it, but that's really up to you. It's not that important. I usually uncheck all these. I make it really difficult for anyone who wants to post a comment to do it, and I usually don't want to be emailed because once you own a lot of websites, you got a lot of emails and you generally want to cut it down. Check these. So basically I'm making it as difficult as possible for a comment to show up and appear on the website or for me to get emailed about it. But that's definitely not what has to be done. It's just my preference. Save changes. All right, let's keep going. Media, there's never anything to do here. Yeah, this is not important. You can just leave this the same way. Privacy. I would like my site to be visible to everyone. That's already the default, so that's fine. Permalinks, this is the important one that I wish I had set up before I put up that first post. But just like in the other example, do it this way. And all you want is a post name. Backspace here. Save changes. All right. All-in-one SEO we already did. Automatic SEO links. This is something we're going to take care of after we put up the post. So that's all fine. So basically, everything under settings at this point is already set up. All right, that was the second of a total of 3 parts. So if you have any questions or comments about that part of the process, be sure to leave a comment or a question and I will answer it as best as I can. And if you like what you saw, please be sure to share the video with your friends via Facebook or Twitter or however you like. All right, thanks for watching.